Sup, and welcome to another Library Chest Productions movie review. And this time I'm going to be reviewing A Wrinkle in Time since it is coming out on DVD today. I got Boo here, let's do this. A lot of people were excited for A Wrinkle in Time when it hit theaters a few months back, but I wasn't one of them. I don't have any experience with the source material, so you're not going to get anything commenting on the differences between the book and the movie because I just don't have any dog in that fight. So here's the thing, a lot of people wanted this to be a really good movie. I mean, you had an excellent director, you had a movie that starred like a black kid and has a bunch of black people, so it was progressive in that way. And I'm not going to sit here going on and on about how important that is, but it is important to at least acknowledge who it was kind of made for, even though it's, it's fine for all races and sexes and aliens and everything. But unfortunately, it didn't make quite as much money as Disney had hoped, and honestly, I can see why. I don't have any problems with any of the actors. I think they did a fine job for the most part. I just think that the stuff they had to say let them down. This is a really hokey script, with dialogue that is so on the nose that it's silly. There's big expressions and statements and repetitions of things like how beautiful and special the main girl Meg is. And honestly, it gets a little exhausting. It's like Ava DuVernay was going for this big movie, but just really couldn't get it going. And the main reason for that is because it doesn't really feel like it's people talking, and it doesn't feel organic. It doesn't feel interesting. I didn't care what these people had to say. And the jokes that they had, the few jokes that they had, and it just didn't work. They were so basic, they lacked any real wit. It was like simplistic jokes that can be done well if there's some cleverness behind it, but they didn't go that mile to actually put any pizzazz on it whatsoever. So like I said, you can have mined territory and do something good with it. Just, this did not. And look, the message is great. I can't bring myself to hate on the message. It doesn't matter how many times something similar has been done. It doesn't matter how many times we hear how special we are or how about love and the darkness that consumes people and that shouldn't be and that you can fight through it. You just gotta believe in yourself and all that stuff. That is great stuff. We should keep making movies of it. So I'm never gonna hate on the message. It just wasn't handled with any real finesse. Because while it is hardly the first movie to go that route, it just stumbled like the whole way. There wasn't anything about this movie that was exceptional or even really good. There were some passable things, like I said, the acting is fine. But when you have everything else letting it down, then it's hard to get this big family adventure that they wanted. I didn't even think that the CGI was that good. I mean, it had a good budget, it just didn't really feel like it. I felt that some of the, the character models and the effects were just kind of cheap looking. Now, obviously they aren't cheap, but again, they're silly. I'm not the kind of guy who normally comments on CGI because I think we live in a great time where people can make really great movies, and a little bit of offness, if that's a word, about CGI doesn't generally bother me. I'm not one of these people proclaiming to the heavens or the hell that, oh, the CGI was so crappy, especially when the CGI isn't crappy. Like a big example of that would be like DC movies. People criticize that a lot for it, and I feel like it's good, first of all, for the most part. But I feel like it makes an interesting world. A Wrinkle in Time was supposed to be that, but up until a certain point, in like maybe the later half or quarter or third or whatever of the movie, it just wasn't inspired. Now, it did get more visually interesting as it went on, as it got to the final place. I can't remember the name of it now because I don't do real research. But basically, when they get to that suburb and things start getting a little weirder and vague, and they really kind of let it go, then it certainly gets a lot more interesting. And if more of these special effects would have been that inspired earlier, then I probably would have liked it. But honestly, and I don't say this often, the CGI kind of took me out of it. And it doesn't even necessarily come down to the quality of the special effects themselves. I mean, which that is a part, but it also comes down to the art design. I just don't think it was there. And while they're on their journey through the universe, you would have thought that it would have been exciting, but it really wasn't. I was basically checked out of this movie half an hour in, but I went through it and I paid attention, obviously, but I was pretty much ready to get out of there. And by get out of there, I mean this room, which would have been weird because I sleep here and my bunny's here. He's down there. But with that all said, you're going to ask, what do I give it? Should you see it? Maybe, if it's free. And it's weird that I didn't go with the lowest rating that we could give because I basically crapped on the movie the entire time. But despite all of its flaws, I think there's tons of worse movies out there. But it's still just a little depressing that such a good director just didn't even really have the foundation right. And I don't have the source for this, I was just told this by a friend, but apparently Ava herself had come out prior, I don't know when exactly, said that she kind of has a hard time dealing with sci-fi and whatnot. And this is a couple genres in one: sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, family drama, you know. But at this point, she did kind of, back up her own criticism of herself. And that's my review for A Wrinkle in Time. I'm going to get out of here. I don't know where I'm going to go. But as always, I'm going to kick it to Castle, the best bunny critic in the biz. See ya. There is the serious face. Oh, yeah.